Gravediggers by Nicholas B. Morris.
"We forgot something," Terry said, not for the first time. "I know we did." Wade, taking his turn in the hole, told him to shut up about it already. "If you ain't remembered it by now, it probably ain't worth having. Seems important, though. Not as important as getting me another beer." Terry went to the cooler and tossed Wade another can of Rolling Rock. He switched places with his friend, climbing into the hole with a fresh beer and his shovel. Wade sat on the edge of the grave while Terry spaded the earth. "Who'd you say this was for?" Wade asked. "I think you told me, but I'm a few beers in." "I don't know his name," Terry admitted, "but I'll know when I catch the son of a bitch." "What'd he do?" "He's balling my wife." "Well, now, there you go," Wade said, draining half of the green can with a few gulps. Some of it foamed up on his chin, leaving a muddy trail dripping off his face. "That's a reason to dig a man's grave right there. Dipping his nuggets in your sauce. I'd kill the prick, too." "Don't talk about my wife that way." Terry scratched his crotch, then farted loudly. He waved the air in Wade's direction. "Give me another beer. My hands hurt." Wade retrieved a beer for Terry and one for himself, then joined him in the damp hole. "Move over," he said. "No sense in this taking all night." They dug a while, drained cans and crushed the empties. Blisters formed on their palms. "Shit," Terry finally said. "Gloves. I forgot the damn gloves." "No big deal," said Wade. "We'll be done soon enough." Wade's watch beeped to announce midnight. "How deep does this need to be? My boss expects me at work in 8 hours." "Deep enough they'll never find the bastard," Terry said, bringing 4 more Rolling Rocks with him. He dropped down into the hole, up to his chest now, careful to hold the cans close. Less than half the case of beer remained. "This is what, 4 feet deep? 4.5? This far out, nobody's ever gonna find him." "I want to be sure nobody ever finds him. The damn cops will turn him up inside a week we leave him this shallow." "Listen, Terry, this ground is hard as shit. I keep banging on it. I'm gonna break the damn shovel." "It ain't your damn shovel to break," Terry said. "We got a spare if we need it. How close to China you looking to bury him?" "This Hell's Angel I used to know said if you bury him deep enough, throw some lime on there, then cover him with quikrete, cops won't never find him." Wade stopped digging. "When did you ever know a Hell's Angel?" "Couple of years ago." "I known you your whole damn life. When?" "Well, I didn't exactly know him myself, personally," Terry said. "My sister kind of knew this girl at work who used to date one, and she told her about it. For that, you got me out here digging." "I bought you the beer." "You drank half of it." "And the pizza." "A frozen pizza," Wade said. "You cooked it in my oven. Shit, it ain't even my wife that got porked by some stranger." "Look, I can't dig it all by myself. I thought you'd understand since you're my best friend and all." "Oh, shit," Wade said. He tried to pound through the hard ground again for a few seconds. "Guess you'd do the same for me." After a while, their muscles lubricated with beer, they broke through the hard ground. The digging got easier. "The next 4 feet should go fast," Terry said. "We'll be in bed before you know it." At shoulder deep, the blisters started bursting. 2 beers floated in the bottom of the cooler with 3 feet of digging to go. "You sure it has to be 8 feet?" Wade asked. 6 is normal. You gotta figure this asshole is a foot thick, and we want to put the quikrete on him. That's another foot. 6 and 1 is 8. "Well, shit, Terry. It ain't like you got him stashed here in the cooler. Why we gotta dig it all tonight?" "I want to have it dug before I kill him. That way I can just dump him right in." "When's that gonna be?" "Soon as I catch him in the act." "And you know who it is?" I seen him staring at Jolene's ass. Well, fuck me, Terry. I stare at Jolene's ass. Terry threw down his shovel. What the hell do you mean you stare at her ass? It's a compliment, dumbass. Your wife has a nice ass. When you ain't looking, sometimes I take a nice long gander at it. Maybe I'll have to dig 2 graves, Terry said. Oh, don't even start that shit, Wade said. Brandy told me all about you accidentally walking in on her when she was changing out of her bikini. Said you apologized real good, right to her tits. That was a damn accident. It ain't no accident you staring at 'em every chance you get. Well, maybe you'll have to dig another grave on your own then. Maybe I will. They picked up their shovels and dug in silence. The hole opened wider as they dug away from each other. The silent treatment ended when they hit the next patch of stone-hard ground. It started with grunts, moved on to curses. Then they swore to outdo each other. Fucking hairy gopher snatch, Wade said. Eat 1.5 miles of my wet shit, Terry said. They doubled over, laughing at each other's foul words, drunker than they realized. It took several attempts to start pounding the ground again. They'd try to dig, then catch a glimpse at each other and howl with laughter. What about this? Wade finally said. Is this deep enough? The hole reached just over their heads. We ought to go a little deeper. This ground ain't budging, and my hands are raw as pig shit. Not too much further, I promise. They continued banging on the ground, eventually moving back and forth in shifts. I got some post hole diggers, Terry said. It took him a long time to get out of the hole. Wade relieved himself on the solid ground. A puddle formed at his feet. Oh, fuck, man. What the hell are you doing? I had to go. We're gonna have to pound that now, you stupid bastard. Maybe it'll soften the ground and cover us in your beer piss. Like you ain't never pissed yourself. I ain't never pissed on you. Just think of it as me spilling some beer and water on you. Terry slid down into the hole. He twisted his ankle when he landed and dropped the post hole diggers in the puddle of piss. It splashed on both of them. Well, that settles it, Wade said. Can we start digging now? The light of dawn rose over the treetops. Birds chirped the day's first song. They couldn't remember the last time they'd stayed up this late. Nothing remained in the cooler, and they shared a hungry, hungover headache. The shovels kept Wade and Terry propped up at least as much as they flung dirt out of the deepening hole. Their clothes stunk of beer-tinged sweat and drunken piss. Neither of them had left the grave in hours. Their bodies continued out of muscle memory. I'm thirsty, Terry said. Me too, Wade said. He had been seconds away from passing out when Terry spoke. Deep enough? Fuck it. Jail would be better than this. They looked up at the top of the hole. The ground loomed just above their reach. Maybe I can get on your shoulders, Wade said. Not with my busted ankle. I can barely stand. Then you get on my shoulders. I don't think I can. God damn it, Wade said. Why didn't you bring a ladder? I did. That was the first thing I packed up. Well, where the fuck is it? It's in the truck. They stared at each other, unable to talk. They sunk to the ground, too tired to go on. We could dig toward the truck, Terry said. Do it at an angle so we can just walk out of here. No, stupid ass, Wade said. Where do you think that dirt will go? In here with us. He hung his head. Besides, my hands are bleeding too bad to dig anymore. Don't tell me you're any better off. Terry sighed. We're fucked, ain't we? You picked a good spot for a grave, Ter. Neither of them spoke for a while. At the same moment, they both said, I'm thirsty. Well, shit, boy, there's only one thing we can do to fix it, Wade said. What's that? Turn this from a grave into a well. The trees get plenty of water. Digging got us into this. Let's just dig our way out. To Terry, it seemed the perfect solution to their problem. They picked up their shovels and began anew.
Thank you for listening to Gravediggers, written and read by Nicholas B. Morris, and produced by me, Jared I. McGee. The author grew up in Arkansas but fell in love with Colorado. His stories and other assorted writings have been published in the Harpoon Review, Cliterature, Connotation Press, Danse Macabre Online, and Nebo. He has published 2 short story collections, the full-length Tapeworm and the chapbook The Boy in the Well, both with now sadly defunct Monkey Puzzle Press. You can buy copies of Tapeworm from him directly on Amazon. He works his dream job as assistant professor of humanities at the Community College of Denver and watches endless reruns of Star Trek with his partner, Alyssa Pacini. Caleb Hicks produced the original audio for the narrative. He and Mr. Morris worked closely together on the spoken album of Mr. Morris's stories called The Boy in the Well. The backing tracks for Gravediggers were taken from the Free Music Archive at freemusicarchive.org, an amazing community of artists set out to help one another through the sharing of their art. The first track is called Pompeii and is by Josh Woodward. If you still haven't made it over and checked out his website at joshwoodward.com, you're really missing out. This track is being used under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 unported license. The second track is called Exiled in the Land of Absentees and is by Adarka Iancu. This track is being used under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 international license. Lastly, the piano improvisation comes from another fantastic community based on artistic sharing, freesound.org. The improv is provided by user Unfa. A sincere thank you to all of these artists for sharing their work with the world, and to both the Free Music Archive and freesound.org for the contributions. Please stay tuned for yet another short story from Prose.